Hello, the story continues. This is chapter 2 in Woven. Let's get our collectibles. I will try to keep the commentary on minimal levels so you can enjoy the narration.
With their trip having taken so long, it was a good thing this place was lively and alluring, filled with birds of all kinds of colour and song. Glitch wanted to find something to distract Stuffy with, something assuring. Knowing Stuffy, that shouldn't be hard.
First we need to go to left, right. Here we find the first blueprint and the first skin. The minigames are exactly same as in chapter 1. Sadly, I wish there could have been some variation or a different game.
The breeze carries such colourful scents.
We ended last chapter with the jumping leg, so we need to change it again. We will need to change the legs very often during this chapter. And this is our first skin in this episode. Next collectible is hidden behind this tree.
The tunnel had brought the moon much closer to Glitch, but now their travels seemed to encounter a hitch: cliffs and the sea. He couldn't imagine Stuffy swimming, much less flying, without violating the laws of both gravity and motion. Perhaps one of those birds could be persuaded to carry Stuffy across the ocean. Oh well, worth a try.
Here's the first cave. And then here we are the next collectible, which is a bit more complicated.
This duck looked rather lively, swimming his circles round. Yes, Stuffy, take a moment to explore, stamp or make a sound. That would give Glitch some time to think where to next they should be bound.
And this is how we get this Meaty collectible. Now let's get this Fluor. And our next collectible. At the beginning of this chapter there are a lot of collectible right away. Here is another one.
It's like there's a taste of tension in the air. High walkways, waterfalls everywhere. They could see for miles. It was amazing, but also amazingly difficult to traverse all these aisles. Stuffy thought it a pity he couldn't fly. If he were that free, he'd simply lift to the sky.
Next one is after some short video skin.
What were those objects? Those were metal insects. Like Glitch? No, not like Glitch. Eating the tree, undoing the stitch. Moths with wings of steel, so uncanny, so unreal, with eyes of threatening red. Why would they do that? There was nothing they could do right now, but ponder why this was happening and how.
Soon we will get to a timed event, just like the Abruptry event in Chapter 1. But first let's pick up this collectible. For that one we need to change our
Something
legs,
seems off here.
because we need to climb some area.
Glitch saw that Stuffy wanted to test its clumsy self against the bird, and protested. It can fly. We'll never reach that high. I fear that would be absurd. A shout would start the test, and give Stuffy a chance to prove they could reach the crane's nest.
We need to get to the crane nest before the crane goes back, flies back. So keep sprinting and rushing. It is actually not a hard task to do it, but well, if you do it at first time and you don't know the way, it is challenging.
On top, you can see for miles. If not for the curve of the world, we could even see further.
And once we can actually stay here as long as we want because the crane not going to fly back. So the bird isn't an scannable object, at least not in this chapter. First let's change back our legs to the stamping one.
Such mysterious shapes fill this land. More invaders? They stood eye to eye with another metal foe. But this rusted aphid did not seem that aggressive, though. As if blind to them, it stood there, staring, disconcerted. What was it waiting for? Could it somehow be diverted? Yes. What would a metal creature want from life?
The small inspects used to open doors.
Powered by some kind of machine energy, the automaton had quickly risen to the task. If now they wanted it to gather the yarn, they needed only to ask. A better question would be, did you see that rock slide out of the way?
But we're not going to that way, as the collectibles are this way. And actually that door just a shortcut. Because into this direction you get to the same spot sooner or later. Here's the next collectible, the memory lore.
First there was the song, then there was the crash. A heart, a mind, more of his kind, carried away. Away from the moon, over wild green, crossing the blue, above trees of red, red mountains ahead. Then the song died. Ending his ride he fell. To sleep forever, until he was found to start this endeavor. He had been here before, briefly. They were retracing his flight. Amazing.
And this way we get to the next blueprint and one pattern.
It's a lot breezier here.
The skin is right here, as you can see. Now we need to change our arms to the new blueprint. This was the door which was opened by that insect.
These buttons and levers required a delicate touch. And all the blueprints found in the meadows made Stuffy, well, a bit of a clutch. A new shape was needed.
And with this new arm
These cliffs
ability,
were mystifying. But what did it all mean? Moths gnawing on wool, aphids gathering yarn, and all those sliding rocks they encountered in between. Glitch cursed at the fact that his memory was in tatters, for surely they once held the key to the heart of these matters.
so with this new ability we can use the engineering object, mechanical object.
Glitch still hadn't thought of a way to get Stuffy across the sea, where he knew, somehow, that his answers would be. Walking these cliffs gave him a lot of information to analyze. Maybe while exploring these cliffs, a solution would materialize. There is more here than meets the eye, flawlessly fitting into this woolen world. But why? It's like there's a taste of tension in the air. These cliffs have changed. Deemed too dangerous for Stuffy's kind, yet something had happened while Glitch was blind. Somehow they came. What was their aim? Was it fear that led them and metal they fled then? They lived in the caves, walking the ways. Did they still hide here?
There is nothing to that direction, so going down there. Here will be another pattern. And now we will approaching some moles. Get close to them also, they will go back to the hole.
On top, you can see for miles. If not for the curve of the world, we could even see further.
And once the last it will go to the last time back to the hole, he will drop some scannable object out. And that will be our pinky skin.
Such mysterious shapes fill A shadow was falling on this land, even here. Machines were everywhere, moved by unknown motives, coal and gear. Now some of them knitted or held information, showing no avarice, but others behaved strangely, and some even seemed dangerous. The bigger picture remained unclear.
And here we get to another memory.
Metal has a rhythm, that is part of the song. Singing harmony so artfully, together they are strong. Every gear in the clock is a part of the flock. All machines that thrive play a part in the hive, serving one function, but without the refrain, not in conjunction. Things, a lot of things, were not as they should be.
The next chamber will be a puzzle chamber, but first we will scan one object here for
A mysterious gleam came towards them, and much to their surprise, a peculiar-shaped mushroom attracted tiny fireflies. They could be prompted to give quite the show, for Glitch's light could make the mushrooms glow.
We need to get the flies to the frog. The flies can move one mushroom only at a time. Well, you need to be fast because they go back to the previous one. Oh, come on. And so the way got cleared and we can progress further.
Another insect stood idle, patiently waiting for its woolen ball. One could wonder what they did with it all.
So here is a door event. Behind this door there is another door which is unlocked also with the help of an insect. So here just first use the stamp at the yellow tree and then at the red tree.
Be careful Stuffy doesn't fall off. You know he can't swim.
Here we get to another puzzle area. And here is a cave too. Let's get to that cave for the first time.
Stamping on the ground somehow moved the pillars around. 2 units up, and its neighbors 1 unit down. Yes, Stuffy, you may certainly frown. Oh, I'll have a sip of water while you figure this one out.
And now here's the puzzle. With 1 stamping, it goes up twice, and the neighboring one goes down 1. Oh well. And this was the solution. It was quite easy. And so here we are at the next blueprint panel.
It's like there's a taste of tension in the air. Make sure you have the button pushing arm installed, at least to one of your arms, because here we will use another mechanical item. Suddenly unlocking, a simple rock revealed that here a metal cart had been concealed. Although out of place, it did not seem very dangerous, and using it might prove to be advantageous. The cart carried them through the sky fast and free, but also illustrated it wasn't all as it had pretended to be. This machinery had been deliberately hidden? By the metal insects? Was its use forbidden? Did they think their infiltration could escape observation? Oh, how naive were they!
To this direction there is another blueprint panel. This is the 4th on this chapter, so only 1 left from the blueprint collectible.
Amazing, isn't it?
next collectible will be on the sailing, so it is a bit easier to miss. It is there.
I do think the trees here are something special. At one point, Glitch had known more about all this. The caves with stuffy paintings told him a little, but little good. Memory machines gave him visions, but those he barely understood. Bemoaning the situation wouldn't help him. Getting to the moon should.
Okay, the next one will be a bit tricky. There is again a mole. If you get close, then he moves the scannable object to the next hole, like this. But it reacts to every single movement, so what you need to do is you can open a door here with the help on an insect, so make sure the scannable object is here, then use your stamping skill
I am amazed by some of these
and move to
colors.
the next hole. And be ready to scan the object, because it will be there here only for a few seconds. As you can see, you had time just to allow time just for one scan. It was barely enough. And as this door opens, you can use your stamping skill again for another pattern. And as there is a customization terminal, we need to change our color to Hilly fashion. This will be required to get the next memory.
There's something mysterious about these parts. I can't quite put my finger on it.
And we also need jumping legs.
Right, such fun. But you did well and now we're done. Ridiculous creature. All insects are devised to be specialized, to perform one single task lurking beneath a woolen mask, working together bound by a tether towards an objective as a collective. Okay, but to what objective?
And this was the fourth memory. We need just one more on this level. Let's go back to the terminal and change back the legs to the stamping one. That will be required. or actually not required. It is required only for the collectibles, but not for progressing the story.
What was that? Behind the rocks, an immense eagle fought off a spider made of metal. It had the eagle cornered, forcing it to battle. The spider from Glitch's visions. Stuffy, run! But Stuffy wouldn't run. They had to make a stand. Glitch could think of something smart, and Stuffy could lend a hand.
And now we need to have this poor eagle.
The spider scurried off. For now, the coast was clear, and the eagle left them behind, now that it was released from its fear. They had worked together and helped the bird in its plight. Even without receiving a token of gratitude, they knew they had done right. Oh, what a tough bunch!
We're getting close to the end of the chapter.
It seems as if the next discovery is just around the bend.
Here we have many objects. Let's start with the blueprint. This is the last blueprint in this chapter. So now after this you should get one achievement. I already have it as I spent already a lot of time to find all these collectibles. And to explore every corner of the game. And here is also the last cave.
The spider lurked here, Stuffy should not be seen. Blending in with the surroundings might fool the machine.
As the narrator said, we need to make ourselves to one of these colors. Let's start with this one, as this leads to another collectible which also required for the progressing on the story.
We want Stuffy to stay out of sight. His current guise might be just right.
Now we can go to the other direction, but first we need to change our color.
We want Stuffy to stay out of sight. His current guise might be just right.
And now we're getting to one important area. It is very easy to finish the game here, and so we would miss some collectibles. So don't leave this area, don't go to the sand, to that tunnel, because that ends the chapter. If you go here first, before we leaving the area, we need to get 2 more collectibles. This is the last pattern in this chapter. This should have earned 1 achievement for you, either on Steam or Xbox or PlayStation, depends on what platform you're playing. And here we will find the last memory in this chapter.
Machines organize, color to color, fabric to fabric. They're drawn to life, sorting strife. It spelled demise, wool was chaos, Stuffies were life. Without song, it would go wrong. Color to color and wool to core. What once thrived lived lives no more. But no, what? What had happened to those of Stuffy's kind? Had they fled?
As now we earned all achievements and collectibles in this chapter, we can progress to the next one. Please subscribe my channel, don't forget to like the video, and join me to explore the next chapter. The video will be available soon.
That red, menacing look. The spider came their way, staring at Stuffy like he was a woolen buffet. Stuffy had to run like a fool. The spider was after his stuffing, after his wool. Now move, both of you! And away they were, lifted up by wings of wool into the sunset, away from the hills, away from the threat. As if guided by some instinct, the eagle took them far from the shore and over the ocean. As if It had flown like this before. The eagle flew towards the horizon above the deep blue sea, giving Stuffy the sensation of flying, weightless and feeling free. The eagle left them behind on distant shores stranded, a beach full of big debris adrift. Where had they landed? To their left, a distant jungle followed the river inland, as high dunes seemed to contain them on this stretched-out strand.